What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, back with another Gods Unchained video, and in this one we're going to discuss Mortal Judgment, the brand new set that's going to be released by Gods Unchained at the end of April. I'm going to give a general overview and then we're going to discuss some of the new effects in this particular set. Alright, so if you've already downloaded Gods Unchained and you've been playing, you can get ready over the next couple of weeks by looking at the spoilers of the cards that are coming out. There are new ones coming out every day. Some of the cards look really exciting and I can't wait to play for them. So get ready for that first day that it is released so that you can buy the packs or trade for whatever you need. Now, if you haven't downloaded Gods Unchained yet, I did put a link in the description of this video, which is going to give you a few free packs to help you get started, but you are going to need probably a couple of weeks just to kind of get used to things and setting up the game and getting your wallet ready and perhaps buying some Ethereum if you would like some of the new packs. So use that link in the description to get the few free packs, get everything ready, because late April this set is coming. Mortal Judgment. It's going to have over 190 cards in it, along with 3 new keywords, which I'm going to cover in just a moment. And each new set that comes out also has a mythic card that goes with it, an extremely rare NFT that is not only a great collector's item worth a lot of money, but also just a really fun card. So let's take a look at the one we know has been leaked, which is Omox the Mad. Now, I can't verify if this is actually going to be the art for this card, but I do know the effect is real. So Omox the Mad, it says both players start with this card on the top of their deck. Roar. Obliterate your hand and replace it with 9 random 9-mana creatures and set their cost to 1. So in true form in Gods Unchained, these mythic creatures create an absolutely chaotic board state. You're probably never going to play against this and probably not even going to get it, but it's a really interesting card, because if you are one of the lucky ones that does get this card, you're just going to have a ton of fun playing with it. But also, I can guarantee you, these are collector's items. So, you know, all trading card games also have collector's items where people just kind of like to show off their super rare pieces. This is one of those. Of course, there's a lot of functional cards too. So let's take a look at some of the new keywords.
Hear that, mortals? Mortals! It's the sound of a new keyword! Echo calls a new creature to your hand. One linked to the card you just played. Only there's something different. Creatures created by Echo are 1 mana, 1 strength, 1 health cards that provide you with some extra value, helping you keep the pressure on or make some big bursty moves. That's the spirit! Send your enemies bouncing off the arena's walls with the...
Alright, so the first keyword is Echo, and this looks like a really cool card for creating big board states potentially. Also creating very specific effects that have synergy. So I think this is going to be a creative and very technical type of keyword that you're going to see appear on a lot of cards. I think this is a keyword that's going to take a little while to figure out. I bet there's some really powerful strategies for it. I do think it's one that's going to emerge perhaps a month or two after the set is released. Like, you'll see them running around, but it's only going to be a month or two later when people will really figure out the mix of cards that are going to make it a powerful deck. But basically, what happens with it is, of course, when you play the creature that has Echo on it, you're going to get a 1/1 creature that creates an effect on the rest of the game. So as you can figure, that creates a lot more choices in the game, and choices lead to not only better strategy, but in my opinion, more fun. When you feel like you have control over the strategy and the game, it makes it more fun even if you lose, because it's pitting your mind up versus the mind of your opponent. And I think that's why we play these games, right? All right, let's check out the next keyword.
Can't decide on whether to attack now or later? Keep your options open with the new keyword, Empower. Cards with Empower can be played as they are, or in a buffed up, bulked out, empowered version. Oof, look at those gains! Cards with Empower allow for more versatile play. giving you the option to play a card early in a match or pay a higher mana cost to execute some truly devastating late-game plays. So buff up, mortals, and power your way through to the next expansion, Mortal Judgment.
All right, so I think right off the bat, whenever this set is released, this is going to be the most powerful effect out of the gate. It's pretty straightforward, and it's pretty obvious why it's so powerful, because you can put a bunch of low mana cost cards in your deck that scale for the late game. And in fact, I think this effect could be so powerful that if Gods Unchained is not careful, it might be too powerful. So we do have to watch for that. But as with any other set, of course, there's going to be a period where they can adjust the effect if they need to, changing the mana costs and things like that. And they can power down the cards if it turns out that the mana cost is making it a little too easy to play a deck that, in some ways, if you think about it, if you fill it with Empower cards, has twice as many cards or card effects as cards in the deck, but there's still the same amount of cards in the deck. I think that creates a situation in which decks with Empower could potentially be more powerful than the opponent. But let's think about what the function of this is. So let's say you have a 3 mana card. You saw there that what you can do is power it up by hitting the little button at the top of the card before you play it, meaning you can actually play it for 6 and get the extra effect. If it's a creature, it has improved stats and things like that. So, you know, you can... Well, I should say this is really going to smooth out your curve. So you can be an aggressive deck. And gosh, this is where I get really excited for a deck like this, because I do have a place in my heart for low to the ground decks, aggressive decks. But one of their weaknesses is that mid-range decks, or even like decks with big beasts or big creatures, will tend to overpower them in the late game, and the aggressive deck just can't push through. But if they put out little aggressive creatures with this that can scale in the late game, what you're going to find is now the aggressive deck has a way to punch through and win against, well, pretty much any deck. Because think about it. If you're an aggressive deck and you go up against a slower control deck, which you're typically favored against anyway, you can just stay low to the ground, throw the stuff out as early as you can, and, you know, smash face with it. But if you're playing any of these mid-range decks in the late game, not only are you going to be able to get in the damage early, but you're going to be able to match your opponent card for card late in the game. You know, I have to say, I'm both excited and worried about this particular effect. I think it's going to be really good, but what I think we're going to see is this is what's going to flood the metagame right out of the gate. And you're going to see a lot of this for the first month or two until people figure out kind of how to play it. And then I bet we're going to see a lot of control decks come in to try and control these particular Empower decks. Now let's take a look at the next effect.
Some mortals choose to play it safe, but others will choose to tempt fate. This keyword is for the risk takers out there, providing a comfortable buff or a chance at more. What a good looking herald. That's me. Tempt Fate cards will give you 2 options. Take the buff and be on your way. Or try your hand at a double buff. The only problem? If fate isn't on your side, you're left with nothing. Never trust a fox. There's many roads you can take, but as fate has it, they all lead to the new expansion, Mortal Judgment.
All right, so this particular effect looks very fun to me, although you're probably not going to see it at the top of the meta. Maybe, who knows? You know, we have to see the cards first and how they'll actually play. But this type of effect we typically see in trading card games where you get a choice of something safe or something random and maybe pretty powerful isn't usually the best strategically because you can't always control the outcome. Now, there could be cards that are good enough in the safe option. You almost always just opt for the safe option. But this effect of where you're basically flipping a coin and getting some kind of outrageous, cool effect, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. If you're a casual player, you want to build decks like this because it's just so random and chaotic and fun. And I love stuff like this. Like, you know, I like to play competitively. There's a competitive streak in me, but there's also a fun streak that just wants to enjoy the game, right? So to summarize, we have 3 new keywords, all very different. The first being Echo, which is very strategic and technical and will probably take some time to figure out. Then we have Empower, which is probably going to come smashing out of the gates. And then Tempt Fate, which is just a really fun one for all of us who enjoy trading card games. But let me know what you think in the comments of this video. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe, because I'm going to be putting out way more Mortal Judgment content. You're going to want to be here for that. And I will catch you in the next one.